She clutched her crying baby to her chest, her arms trembling from exhaustion. The diaper bag slid halfway off her shoulder as she pushed the stroller through the glass doors of the high-rise downtown. Rain matted her curly hair to her cheeks. She didn't belong here, and she knew it. The polished marble floors, the scent of leather and pine cleaner, the cold stare of the receptionist as she looked up from behind the desk. "Deliveries go through the service entrance," the woman said, without even asking her name. "I'm not delivering," Rachel mumbled. "I have a meeting with HR about a job." The receptionist blinked, as if processing a strange language. Rachel shifted her baby on her hip and adjusted the pacifier in little Lily's mouth. The infant squirmed, her red face sticky from tears. The receptionist finally gave a sigh and motioned toward the elevator bay. 17th floor. Use the third one." Rachel gave a grateful nod. She was soaking wet, embarrassed, and about 3 seconds from giving up. But this job interview was her last shot after 6 months of rejections. This assistant position at Bennington Global was the only thing standing between her and eviction. The elevator doors slid open. She stepped inside with Lily, muttering a soft prayer under her breath. And that's when he stepped in too. Black suit, sharp jawline, silver cufflinks, phone in one hand, coffee in the other, no expression, just power and focus. The kind of man who didn't look at you. The kind of man who bought silence with money and never had to wait for anything. Rachel pressed herself into the corner, trying not to breathe too loudly. The baby whimpered again. He glanced up. Their eyes met for half a second. Then the elevator jolted. A loud screech. A hum. Then nothing. The lights flickered and went out, replaced by a dim emergency glow. Lily screamed. Rachel gasped. "What just?" she whispered, clutching her daughter tighter. The man stared at the buttons, pressed several. Nothing. He growled under his breath and muttered, "Great, just great." Rachel tried to soothe Lily, rocking her gently. "Shh, baby, shh. It's okay, sweetheart." The man let out an exasperated sigh and punched the emergency call button. "This is Mr. Carter. I'm stuck in elevator 3. Get me out now." His tone sent a chill through her, like ice cracking. She kept her head down. "Is your baby okay?" he asked suddenly, the irritation still in his voice, but something else too. Rachel hesitated, startled. She's just scared. She doesn't like being closed in." He looked at the child, then at her. "How old?" 7 months. "Why are you here with her?" he asked, like it was the most absurd thing in the world. I don't have childcare. I was supposed to drop her with a neighbor, but they canceled last minute. I didn't want to miss my interview." He raised an eyebrow. "You're interviewing here?" Rachel nodded slowly. "For a receptionist job. Temporary, I think." He scoffed, almost bitterly amused. "And you brought your baby?" "I didn't have a choice." Silence stretched. Lily started fussing again. Rachel pulled a bottle from her bag, shaking it with one hand. The man watched her fumble. "You need help?" She blinked. "What?" I said, "Do you need help?" Rachel hesitated, then nodded. "Can you just hold this?" She handed him the bottle. He took it, awkwardly, like it was a grenade. Rachel adjusted Lily's position, wiped her nose, and took the bottle back. He watched her the entire time. "First time, Mom?" he asked. Rachel was stunned. That wasn't a CEO question. "Yeah. Well, first and only. I was 21 when I had her. Her dad, he left before she was born." Mr. Carter looked away. Something shifted behind his eyes. Minutes passed. The elevator stayed still. The baby calmed slightly, soothed by the bottle and Rachel's humming. Then, for the first time, he crouched beside her. "She's beautiful," he said quietly. Rachel blinked. "She looks like her mom," he added. She couldn't tell if he was just being polite or... "Thanks," she whispered, voice cracking slightly. He looked around. No cell signal. Figures. This building's supposed to be state-of-the-art, but they can't even keep the elevators running. Rachel offered a nervous smile. "I thought these things only happened in movies." He gave a dry chuckle. or when you're running late for the most important meeting of your week. She smiled faintly. He looked at her again. You're calm. I'm not, she said, chuckling nervously. I'm panicking on the inside, but she can feel it when I do, so I try not to. He studied her. Smart. Rachel stared at him for a second longer. You don't seem like the kind of man who gets stuck with strangers. I don't. Pause. But maybe I needed to. They locked eyes. And in that small, suspended world of flickering lights and a baby's breathing, something softened. He sat beside her now, cross-legged in his expensive suit. Rachel wiped Lily's chin and sighed. I've applied for over 40 jobs since March. Most won't even talk to me once they find out I'm a single mom. Why? Because I can't work nights. I have no one to leave her with. No one wants the inconvenience. He looked at her, longer this time. People assume I'm irresponsible or lazy. I'm not. I just didn't get handed the easiest deck. He was silent. Then he took off his jacket, folded it, and placed it gently under Rachel's back where she was leaning against the wall. Use that, he said. Marble's cold. She stared at him like he'd just turned into a different man. Thank you. He didn't answer, just sat back beside her, watching the child. My daughter would have been this age now, he said, his voice rough. Rachel's hand froze midair. I lost her, he added. Car accident. 3 years ago. I wasn't there. I was, in Tokyo, negotiating some deal that doesn't even matter now. I'm so sorry, Rachel said quietly. He nodded once. Didn't speak. Lily reached out little fingers curling toward his sleeve. She touched the fabric. The man didn't pull away. Instead, he looked at her and whispered, Hi, sweetheart. Rachel swallowed the lump in her throat. I haven't talked about her in months, he said. I didn't realize how much it still hurts. They sat in silence. A strange silence and not heavy, just human. A few minutes later, the intercom crackled. Elevator 3, we're working on it. Sorry, folks. Looks like a main system glitch. Shouldn't be more than another 10 minutes. Mr. Carter stood slowly. Well, that's progress. Rachel started gathering her things. Listen, he said suddenly. She looked up. Don't go to the interview. Her face dropped. I meandered go to that one. She blinked. He pulled a business card from his wallet, wrote something on the back. Come see me. Monday, 9 a.m. Bring her if you need to. I'll make sure someone watches her during the meeting. She stared at the card. You're giving me a job? I'm giving you a chance. Tears welled in her eyes. Why? He smiled just barely. Because someone once gave me one, and I didn't take it. I've regretted it ever since. Rachel clutched the card. Thank you, really. The elevator jolted, then began to rise again. She looked down at Lily. The baby cooed softly, safe and still. They reached the 17th floor. The door slid open. Mr. Carter turned to her one last time. She reminds me of my daughter, he said softly. But maybe this is something I needed more than I thought. Rachel smiled. And for the first time in months, it felt real. She didn't get the receptionist job that day. She got something much better. An office with a view, a small desk, steady pay, on-site daycare, and the quiet mentorship of a man once called Ruthless who now stopped by every morning to say hi to a baby girl who smiled at him like he was the sun. Somewhere, kindness had changed its course. Not loudly, not grandly, just in the hush of an elevator. Between a tired mother, a grieving father, and the cry of a child. Sometimes the smallest moments carry the heaviest weight. And sometimes a heart cracks open, just enough to let the light back in. Has kindness ever changed your life? Share your story in the comments. You never know who it might help. This story is a work of fiction or dramatized for entertainment purposes. While it may be inspired by real human emotions and events, all characters, names, and situations are either entirely fictional or modified for storytelling. This content fully complies with YouTube's community guidelines and is intended to inspire, not mislead.